Hello everyone, this is GM Var Akobian with 1000 GM, and we're doing the recap video of the round number 6 of the St. Louis GM Norm event. So there are 5 games and we're going to go over each of them. So the first game we have is the game between 2 GMs and a teammates, GM Harshit against GM Antipov. So this game ended kind of quickly. So 2 friends and who trained together were playing each other, and they're both GM. So once again, I want to explain, these guys are there as the providers, okay, for others to earn the norm. They're not there to get they're not in this tournament to try to get a norm. They're already GM, so they're the providers and they're the invited players. So we have the Catalan, and the players made a quick draw. So basically the line would continue like this here. Queen C2, D6, again, CD, CD, Rook C1, Bishop B7. And more or less, it's just the solid position here. Black will put a knight on d7 and just continue. Just continue with development 95, 94, queen d1, knight d7, and yeah, we're gonna win the bishop, but bishop e1, d7, rook c1, rook fc8, and we go knight. I mean, yeah, it's just gonna be more or less solid position here for white. White can press usually this kind of position. So if you really want to play a long game, you can bishop f1, e3, and try to use the last two bishops. Yeah, you have to be ready to play a long game. Okay, you have to be ready to play a long game with this. So I think it's definitely you can play on, but it's going to be very, very hard to win. So let's move on to the next game. Next game is between I am Kalkstein, who is fighting for the GM Norm, against FM Gedaljevic. Let's see. D4, knight f6, knight f3, e6, bishop f4, c5, trying to attack, e3, d5, knight b2, knight c6, c3, knight h5, bishop g5, attacking the queen, f6, bishop h4, g6, bishop d3, cd, cd, bishop e7. Yeah, the point of this is if you take ed, then you allow the opponent to bring the knight in. Bishop f1, bishop d6. This is the idea, okay? So I play it here, bishop e7. Rook c1, a3, knight b3, activating the knight, and now trying to put pressure. Bishop g3. Knight takes g3. F takes g3. That's an interesting move here. Normally, we just take back with the h pawn because we want to keep the structure intact. Very rarely, I would say about 10%, maybe 15% of the time you would take like this, but no more than 10. Most of the time, you want to take from the side to the center because that gives you escape square and also keeps your pawn structure intact, So, but instead we have this move, g4, knight fd2, f5, knight c5, bishop g5, rook e1. Yeah, now it's pressure. Knight d8. Yeah, taking the bishop because otherwise bishop c6 and b6. You don't even have the chance to take the bishop. Rook e7. Rook c2, knight d6. And white has the control of the c file. So on the other hand, yeah, it's I like black's position here. I would think black should try to play on, but it's not so clear how, because the knight on f1 is doing a fantastic job guarding the weakness and any potential attacks. So you have to kind of open up yourself in order to do that. So let's say you go queen to d8, queen to b4, rook g7, king h1, king h8, a4, h5, queen c5, rook f7, queen c3, king g7. Yeah, I mean, again, it looks nice for black. Optically, it looks very nice as well, but I think it's hard to win. You got to get that rook into the game, you know? So perhaps rook c8, queen b2, queen b6, getting some activities. King g1, rook c1, h5, with the idea to play h4. Yeah. So see, now it seems like it's something here. You know, it looks like it's something already here. You know, black managed to get activities. So yeah, the game ended in a draw. Even this position, it's still hard to win because it's just, yeah, it looks nice, but you don't really have a clear cut. And this is after you made already a lot of good moves to improve the position. Now the next game is GM Chandra against FM Tuxtumur. E4, knight f6, knight f3, c5, d5, g6. In this case, yeah, this knight c2 is quite nice. You can also play c4, then knight c, but here I think this is quite nice. d6, e4, bishop b2, bishop g7, castles, knight d2. Takes, rook e8, knight c4, knight bd7. And here, normally you would play a move like a4, and then you get the bishop on g5 and f4. Eventually, you guys have to know one of the most important ideas here is you have to remember that f4, e5 is the break, okay, in this position. You will play f4 and then e5, and you will break the position. This is one of the most important ideas to know. But here, he played f4 immediately, which is a little bit different because you lock in the bishop. b5, knight takes b5. Wow. Yeah, I don't know if I really like this b5, but it might be interesting here. Another option that looks kind of interesting is to play knight b6 here. Knight b6 to trade a knight. Trades of a little bit of knights, trade of the little knights will help. e5, takes, knight d7. Bishop f4. e6. Wow, d6, trying to secure. I mean, it's always dangerous to allow the pawn on d6. Once the pawn is there, it could be a problem. It could be a problem to remove this knight from there. Sorry, remove the pawn from there. So, all right, let's continue with the game, guys. b5, knight takes b5, knight b6, takes, c4. And the point is now black gets a chance to play e6 and breaking through here. And if you go queen d3, we don't have the rest of the moves of this game, so perhaps the DGT board got stuck. But if, let's say, you go here, then actually takes, knight e4. And now suddenly this knight is very strong here, and now a6 is coming up. Okay. Rook e1, f5, cementing the position. Rook b1, rook a b8, rook e2, a6, knight a3, queen d8. Lots of pressure we have here, okay? Lots of pressure we have. G3, h5, h4, rook b7. And now rook is coming here. Again, you're down a pawn, but this is very strong. We see a very strong compensation here, okay? So we see a very nice, very strong compensation. So let's go back. So the best option after e6 is to take. Rook takes, obviously, and then go e5 and make a break. The point is you take and then f5. Rook e8, bishop e3, a6, knight c3. Rook a d8, b3. And now these pawns are going to be a little bit weak. They're going to be a little bit weak, these pawns. So it's about equal position here. So I think probably the game went somewhere like this, and then Grandmaster Chandra ended up winning the game. So we don't have all the moves exactly, but White won the game. Now the next game, this is a game between FM Kretchetov against IM Josiah Stearman. Let's see, knight f3, d5, d4, knight f6. Knight c3, so we have a semi-Slav. Knight b d7, queen c2, bishop d6, b3. So this is actually a very standard position. There are like thousands of games played like this. So both players are developing, and they're kind of waiting. There's a little bit of a cat and mouse game here. You're waiting to see who is going to go where. So g3, c5. Makes sense? Josiah had a nice win earlier in the tournament with this semi-Slav against Max Gedaljevic. So takes knight h4. Very quick play by, I have to say, by Kretchetov. He's playing really fast here. So now threatening knight f5, queen e6. I don't like this for white at all. I mean, they gave up the center. Now, yeah, I don't like this. Here, bishop b8, knight f3. Bishop takes f6. Knight c3. Yeah, this is a problem now. d4. Yeah, I mean, yeah, this is, yeah, I think he just giving up the center and allowing this. This is very dangerous here. Bishop f1 maybe is the best move, but again, take. Knight c3. d4. So now one option is to play bishop, sorry. One option is to go here, bishop c7, bishop b5, rook f8, rook c1, bishop a5, knight d2, c4. Yeah, and this is a problem. Yeah, black is just doing very well here. And now we have boom, take, d takes c4, knight takes, and now rook d5 is fantastic, attacking both pieces. Okay, attacking the queen and the bishop. So very, very strong. All right. But instead, d4 was played. Take, bishop d3. It seems like white is trying to get some control, and now queen b4 again. This line is actually giving still some advantage for, yeah, this is giving some advantage still for white, okay? Queen a5. Queen c3, bishop takes f3, bishop h7, king takes h7, queen h2. So we get to this position, which is probably winning for black, or I don't know, maybe not. I know if you win the f2 pawn, you will win this game, but the question is, are we winning this pawn? So that's the big question. So if we do, we're gonna get the win. But anyway, good chances for black in this position. But instead, queen b4 was played. 94, g6, g5. Queen f6 was a better option because if you take bishop b4, there is rook takes c4, and if you take back, d8 is hanging with a check. That's the idea. Bishop b7 takes. Knight d3 is an option. Knight d3. Yeah, I like to put the knights on d3 here, but here it should be still somewhat holdable here. Take, queen g4. This feels so close here. Maybe just push b4, no? Why not? Create the counterplay. You can't just be waiting. You gotta create counterplay. Takes, knight f7. Take, check. Oh, this is complicated. This is not easy to see all this. Okay. This works again, but players don't have so much time at this point. So, and now queen h3 is coming. Ooh, f3. f3 is always weakening. We know that. And of course, not trading queens, g4. Right around here, looks like it's better just to try to harass the rook and put a knight on e5. So here, just put this guy right here. Okay. So d3. Okay, king g2 makes a lot of sense to play it safe. 2, queen e3, just trade. Yeah, this should be able to hold this. This is should be holdable position. I don't think there are too many serious chances here. I go back. Knight c4. Try to bring the king in. But he played here. Yeah, this is just going to be a tough one. Most likely time pressure, and now take. Yeah, if you go here, I just simply take, because there's only one check. Bishop goes back on g7. So it's here. Yeah. Yeah, really had to trade queens. I mean, the decision not to trade queens, it's yeah, you have to trade queens here. I mean, this your king is a little bit more exposed here, so I'm surprised that Alex Krejcikov didn't play the move queen to d3, because that would have forced the trade. Because if you go queen f6, then even g5, your queen has to go all the way here, and just this is just not active. You know, it's just not active here at all. Yeah, he had that, and yeah, he had to do that. All right, so yeah, it ended up in a mating attack because You gotta trade your queens. You cannot let the queen come into e1, and it's just tough. All right, now let's look at the last game of this round number 6, and this is the game between I am Mardov against Justus Williams. Let's see, guys. D4, knight f6, c4. So we have the we don't know yet King's Indian or Grunfeld, but we have f3 by Mardov saying, you know what, I want to play the Semish. So now we clearly know it's going to be the Semish. Okay. Queen d2, bishop d3. Now threatening some h3 ideas. h3, d5. Oof. D5 is an option, but you can also play rook c1, which is a normal move, or just castle as well. So knight e5, f4. Very direct play by white. Basically says I want to get the maximum amount on center. And it helps to have the pawn on h3 whenever you're playing the move f4, so there is no knight g4 ideas coming in. b4, bishop d4, e5. Takes, queen d3. Queen f6, queen e3, castles, rook a d1, bishop goes on d7. Knight to d5, attacking the queen and the c7 pawn as well. This is just so strong. Yeah, position opens up, and yeah, I mean, perhaps rook b8 here. Perhaps castle first. Castle and put a rook on e8. So castles here and rook a8. This would have been the best setup, I think, to try to defend against the breaks. So, but instead he played here. Knight d5. f5. Now it's just a very, very strong mating attack now. After f5, ready to open up the f file. Rook e5. Okay. Another option is this. Let's take a look. Boom. Bishop takes f5. So you can't take with the pawn. Your queen is saying, so you have to rook takes f5. G takes f5. Queen h6. Now attacking the knight. Knight g3. Yeah, but that just... Oh, the point is now if you take, there is a rook e6. You're now allowing this. Queen f4 takes, pawn takes. Eventually, pawn gets here, and you're gonna lose. You're gonna get mated here. With the exposed king like this, rook is coming up here. You are gonna get mated. Okay. So so he played rook e5. Now takes, and knight f4. Trying to trade the knight on h5 and also putting direct pressure on g6. Yeah, putting a direct pressure. So queen g5. Queen a7. Putting pressure on the rook and the pawn on c7. So now I'm trying to pick up the pawn. Knight takes f4. Rook takes f4. If you're wondering why not take on b8, because it's going to go back rook e8 and your queen is under attack. So this wouldn't be as great. I mean, you can still do it, but this is better. Rook f4. Now queen comes back on f2, because now you're threatening to take this pawn and you're threatening to simply check and take. Bishop f6, knight f6 check. Okay, sure. The point here now, if you take on f6, you're going to be losing to this deflectional idea check and simply picking up on f6. It goes here, takes. h4. Rook f1. Knight e8. Queen f6 check. Queen d8. Now the point of queen d8 is now threatening to play knight f6. King h1 or king h2, both moves are fine. Now threatening knight f6, rook c1. Queen c3 would have been another option, but after knight f6, you likely have to sacrifice your queen. Otherwise, you go here, you get mated. If you go here, you get mated as well here. Okay. So rook c1, check. Yeah, now it just became a clear mate here, queen f8, and the game is over here. A very interesting game, lots of complications in this game, but at the end, I am Mardov won the game. I want to emphasize one important moment here, right here. You know, in a position like this, allowing the move knight d5 and f5 was what basically cost Black the game here. After that, it was just always going to be losing here. So what I think Ian Williams had to do here, just simply to play the move queen to g7. Okay, move the queen away. So there's not easy to play the move f5 now. Black has a little bit more defenses. So for example, if you play f5, bishop takes f5. See, it doesn't work as easy anymore. My queen is there. My queen is there. The guard is there to defend it. So it's going to be a little bit more difficult. So it goes after f5. So queen f2. Now you go knight g3. Creating some ideas, get rid of that knight. That knight is not doing anything effectively on h5. So by playing knight g3, we try to get rid of him. Knight takes g3, queen takes. Now has to go back. Now we try to stay active. We try to stay active. We try to attack. Okay. And now if he plays queen f3, now a very interesting move here white has. So it looks like, oh, sorry, black has here to try to open up the rook here. Bishop f5, x-raying the attack on e4, and now if takes, queen takes e2. Takes, you can take. Rook e4 now, activating the rook. I'm putting pressure on f4. Rook c1, rook b7. Rook fc3, c5. Rook d3. Even though white is up a pawn, but black is pretty active here. He's got some pieces. So even it's not easy. What I'm saying, it's not easy to win endgames like this, because you always have that lot of the drawing elements in the positions where you're just down a pawn. Okay, so that's the idea to remember. So yeah, so I would say move 22, bishop d7 was the move that because after that it just became very easy. Knight jumps in, and this comes in, and by just visually looking at it, it looks the attack is just going to be too strong, even visually. It's possible he perhaps overlooked this, but yeah, this looks very strong, because if you take now rook e4, queen takes h5, and he protects this guy on top of that. Okay, so that doesn't quite help either. If you knight g3, again, there's, e takes f6 is winning too. Knight g3, we already discussed it as well. So yeah, that's just winning the game. So, and after f5, rook e5 makes sense to try to get active, but just trading the pieces off and the blocking is just going to be quite exposed here. Yeah, if the queen was on g7 here, my rook is coming to e8, then I will feel safe about this position. But with the rook being out of the game, the queen is still on original square. It's just, very difficult. In the meantime, if you look at the development, white has all the pieces developed. So it looks like it's just going to be so much easier to break through here for white. And just the king vulnerability. That thing. Once we see the king is vulnerable, it's just very difficult to do anything. So, and a very precise play though, queen g5. It's possible he thought, okay, I play queen h5, it's okay, but then queen h7 is just fantastic. Trading pieces off and then coming back. I mean, this is amazing sequence. Attack, come back, h4 is dropping, knight f6 is on top, and they basically win the game. Very nice game here. Very nice game here. Very well played by IM Mardov, and he managed to get the advantage and break through to get the decisive win here. This concludes round 6 recap, guys, of this GM North tournament in St. Louis. We'll be back with the next few rounds. Thank you, everybody, for watching, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.